Hello, this is Goomzilla, and I'm going to show you how to make your own plushie Francis. No! Francis is the second character I've attempted from the Paper Mario series, after Whacker. He appears in the third world of Super Paper Mario. He's quite a difficult plush to put together compared with my others, but it all comes down to the basic stitches I taught in my Whacker tutorial. You'll be needing lots of green and yellow felt, black felt, some red and cream for the mushroom on his t-shirt, white and a sliver of orange for the mouth. You'll also want a needle and thread in black and white, green and possibly yellow and orange, scissors, a ruler, pins and stuffing. You'll be needing this template. I've given a link to it in the description. To save space on this busy looking template, I've put some pieces inside of others. So what I suggest is that you cut out the larger one first, and then do the smaller one separately. In the case of the head, here's the larger one first, and here's the smaller one separately. This also applies to the piece labelled body. Use the colour and number on your template and apply it to the fabric, as usual. If you find it's getting quite tricky to cut, you can use nail scissors for the smaller shapes. For the mouth, I recommend making a small hole in the middle and then cutting along the centre from there. For the glasses, you'll also want to cut out some black frames, which will be slightly larger rectangles than these ones. Hold on to the swirly eye cutout. No. We're going to start the sewing with the facial features. Get some black thread, the thicker the better, and your swirly eye template. Start off on the glasses, but take care not to go through to the other side. If you're using felt rather than any other material, this should be easy. Then take your template and pin it to the felt. And lead your needle through the end of the spiral. There are a few ways you can sort the swirl. You can make lines of thread like a dot to dot. Or you can do a leapfrog action, where you go forwards a little bit and then back on yourself, and keep repeating this. Or you could do it sideways like we did for the toad's mouth in the toad tutorial. I'll show you how to do it the dot to dot way. Now take your needle back through the hole in the paper and through the felt also. Then go back through felt and paper at the next corner in the template. Keep doing this, each time going through the paper and checking how it lines up with the felt. Don't feel obliged to stick to the template if it's not lining up correctly, it's only a rough guide. When you're done, finish off underneath on the paper and remove the paper. Then if your thread is quite thin, you'll need to go back and do your stitches a few times to make them bolder. If you like, you can double up the thread to make this quicker, but I chose not to do this. Here's the eye I did by the other method, the leapfrog method. Sew the glasses lens onto the frame using white thread. Do this for both eyes. Attach it to the face with black thread, starting in the front and going around the bottom to the back. You may wish to use a pin to keep it in place. When you're almost halfway along the back, get out your black felt and cut out 2 strips a little longer than the length of Francis's face from his glasses to the back. Tuck one end under the black frame and continue sewing on the glasses, ignoring the strip for now. Then when you get to the top, finish off and attach the strip at the back end of the face, but without going through all the way. When you do this on the opposite side, remember to mirror everything. Next, make a nostril in roughly this position, below the glasses but above the pointy part of the face. Speaking of which, a few people have pointed out that I forgot the nostrils on my Yoshi tutorial. I did indeed just forget these, it wasn't intentional, so if you're making a Yoshi you can include those. Now we come to the mouth. Line up the top of the mouth with the pointy end of the face, and check if you've got it about halfway along, by folding the other half around the back. Start by attaching it along the top, just as we attach the eyepieces. Think about what position you want the mouth to take. Open, closed, or ajar. I'm going to go with slightly open. If yours is similar, you might want to cut out a red strip for the inside of the mouth and attach it to the face. Make it thicker than the one I've made here too. I'd suggest attaching the red before you attach the orange. This is what it looks like when it's done. Notice in particular the gap between the two face pieces, which isn't there when it's folded together. Take green thread and sew with blanket stitches on the inside of the plush, from the bottom corner of the head to the pointy bit near the nostrils. If you want to make the mouth more 3D you could stuff it a little, but I left this idea a bit late for my Francis. You probably don't want to add too much stuffing though. No. Now the face is done and we can start putting Francis together properly. Take the two ears and sew along from this corner around the ear. Make sure you're doing this on the bad side of the plush, so the blanket stitches will be on the inside, and be careful not to get the glasses caught. Then take the claw-shaped pieces and attach them from the nose around to the ears. It's particularly important not to get this part of the glasses caught. And along the short edge down the back of the head. Next you need the top of the head. Tie a few loops of thread at the nose, or use a pin to keep this point in place. Make sure the corner lines up with the point at the top of the head. I've actually changed the template since this, so yours should look better. Join this piece along the whole edge and down the side. When that's done, you'll want the base of the headpiece, which you attach in the corners as shown. Pin it at the middle to make sure it lines up. When it's turned the right way out, your finished Francis head should look something like this. No. Now we'll move on to the shirt. I've changed the order of sewing quite a lot in this tutorial from the way I originally did it to make Francis, so don't be put off if you're confused about why something you've already made doesn't appear to be there. Sew up the two darts with blanket stitches of yellow thread, remembering to mirror it for the other side. Take the back piece and sew it to one of the main shirt pieces, making sure you're sewing on the bad side. Starting at the front and going down to the back. A pin will be useful to guide your way down the back. When you get to the end of the back piece, take the other main shirt piece and sew the two together at the rear end. Then sew the back piece to the second main shirt piece. Now you'll want to cut out a wide mushroom shape to go on the back of Francis's shirt. I couldn't fit my cutout onto the main template for Francis. Use the red, cream, black and white felt and attach the spots and eyes to the mushroom, then the mushroom to the shirt. If possible, use thread the colour of the felt on top, so white for the spots and red for the mushroom cap. Ideally it should stretch almost but not quite as far as the darts on the shirt. Sew up the dart in the front piece, then attach it to the rest of the shirt at the sides, starting at the top and working down like this. Sew the eyes onto the stars and attach these at the front of the shirt, one in the middle and the other two flanking it on either side. Attach the green arm at the top with yellow thread. And attach the sleeve on top of it with more yellow thread. No. When your body is ready, attach it to the head at the four corners of this opening with a few loops of thread. Then continue around the whole way. Then turn it all the right way out. Now for the base of the body. Sew the toes to the feet, remembering to mirror it on the other side. For the tail, what I recommend is using blanket stitches all along the longer, curvy side, and then turning it the right way out and stuffing it whilst you do ladder stitches on the shorter, curvy side. But I've done it the other way around here. It's up to you. Now sew up the darts in the base as follows. For the back dart, attach the tail as you go along. And make sure it will be on the outside and pointing upwards on your finished plush. For the middle two darts, attach the feet near the top, making sure they'll be on the outside and pointing like feet should. Then simply sew up the front two darts. No. We're almost there, just the finishing touches now. We're going to stuff the body at the same time as attaching the base. Start off by putting a few loops of thread, or a pin, at the back, and then doing the same at the front. Stuff at the same time. Now normally we'd use ladder stitches to finish off on the outside, but actually we can use blanket stitches here, because they'll be covered by his belt, and if we have the option we'll choose to use blanket stitches because they're stronger. Put pins in useful places such as the middles, and go all the way around while stuffing. To make the belt, wrap a strip of black felt over the stitches and trim it to size. He also has a bum bag, or franny pack. To make this, you'll want to layer black felt on top of other black felt, in shapes like this, or with another design if you prefer. Sew up the belt around his waist and go all around the top side of the belt the same way you did with the icons on the t-shirt. I've also already attached the bottom side of the belt by going all around as well, attaching the franny pack over the gap in the belt. Finally, there's the back end of the glasses. Make these freehand with a curly flick at the end, and just long enough so they'll reach his back. Then sew them on at the lens side, and attach them with a few loops of thread at the back side. And finally you're done. This is sweet! I could have used a different design for the arms, so that they'd be a bit thicker, but this is more true to the Super Paper Mario design. He looks a little weird from the front, but he also does if you flip into 3D in the game, so I think that's okay. I've already mentioned the problems with the mouth, so hopefully yours won't look the same as mine. If you make a Francis, make a quick video showing him and send me a personal message with a link to it, and I'll add it to my playlist of plushes made using my tutorials. You can see that playlist by clicking the link here, or you can check out my other plush tutorials by clicking this link. So that's everything then. Thanks for watching. No.